Faith here with MPO Hearts for marketing and fundraising. Today we're going to go over storytelling and why it's so important. Well, people love stories. Their brains actually release chemicals when they hear stories that make them trust you. They make them actually can fall in love with you or your idea or the story itself. So it's a very good positive thing. So more people should use it in their marketing. Think like Disney. Who hasn't seen a Disney film and felt emotional at some point? You want to route for somebody, or somebody who used to be a villain is suddenly not so much of a villain in some of these new movies. Storytelling is very, very powerful. So in today's video, I'm just going to go over a few ways that you can empower your storytelling, because storytelling you can use for anything. You can use it in marketing, and no matter what the trends and stuff happen, storytelling is always going to be there. So it's a fundamental skill. So we're going to go over that today. Once again, this is Faith with MPO Hearts, and I'm going to go through these tips really fast, so this should be a quicker video, hopefully. So the first tip, I should be going over about 7 tips in this video. The first tip is to get to know your audience. Find out what they like, find out what they're passionate about, find out what moves them. Do you have younger generation or older generation? Are they more prone to do this or that? You need to do research on your audience. If you can, you need to ask them. Don't just assume something. You can always research, but it's best to ask directly about them, because sometimes if you research you can assume something and that might not necessarily be the case. So that's the first tip. The second tip is that you figure out how you're going to tell your story. If you're going to speak here, like on a video, like you're viewing me, if it's going to be in person, if it's going to be in a story, if it's going to be a picture, you need to decide how you're going to do your story medium, and how your audience will react to that, and what's the best medium for you and your brand. I'm going to go over this is going to be 2 tips. This is going to be very popular forms of storytelling that people like now. People like a transparent storytelling, where you do the day in the life of a volunteer or day in the life of a board of director. People like those kind of things because it kind of shows insights into your organization, builds trust, respect, yada yada yada. They also like data. People love data because they're like, how do I know if what you're telling me is correct if you're not giving me proof? So you're putting the data into the information, so you're showing proof while you're telling your story about it. Once you have the fundamentals out of the way, you need to be able to create a good story. And a good story is engaging, which means it's interesting to your audience. It is educational, so you're teaching them something. It doesn't necessarily have to be like in a classroom type thing. It could be like a life lesson or something like that. Just make sure that you teach them a lesson or something in the story. And then you want it to be universal. So human emotions are very universal. So you want to make sure that you do something with human emotions to make a connection between you or the story and the audience of the story. It's like a recipe, you want to make sure that you match it up. Okay, so another good thing is that you need it has to be memorable. Sorry, I got notes right here. It's got to be memorable, and if you tell a story to someone and then they walk away and they don't remember your story, what was the point of telling the story? I mean, you might as well have been talking to a brick wall. You want them to remember it, so you can add like humor, you can add something inspirational within the story, you make it a tearjerker. Just make it so they can remember it somehow later on. And then that's your story structure thing, right? You also want to make sure that you have a call to action, and this is actually the last tip. Make sure you give a call to action. So in your story, somewhere at the end of the story, most likely, you want to give your audience, a call to action, like go out and do this in the world, or how do you feel about this? Make them respond to you or make them take action of some sort. So once you do all that, you should have a much better story, a much better storytelling. And at first, you may seem a little rusty, but with anything new, the more you practice it, the more you're going to sharpen it, and the more your storytelling skills are going to improve. And you need storytelling skills for a lot of things, so this is something you need to work on a lot.
So if you like this video, go ahead and just subscribe or comment or like the video. I think I said like the video already. Turn your notifications. Just tell me anything that you want improved in the future. These videos are still very new and they're very rough around the edges still, and over time they're going to get better, but to do that we need audience input. So be sure to add anything that you would like to learn about in the future in the comments, or if you have a suggestion for the way the videos are thing, if you want me to show you pictures, or if you want me to just be on screen like this. So just go ahead and let me know, and I hope you have a good day, and then I'll post another video tomorrow. Bye.